Want to hear something amazing? Discover matches all the cash back you earn on your credit card at the end of your first year automatically, dollar for dollar, with no limit on how much you can earn. Extra cash? Come on, how amazing is that? In fact, it's even more amazing when you realize all the places where Discover is accepted. 99% of places in the U.S. that take credit cards. So when it comes to Discover, get used to hearing yes more often. Learn more at discover.com/yes. 2020 Nielsen Report. Limitations apply.
This is No BS Job Search Advice Radio, episode 1812. I'm your host, Jeff Altman, the Big Game Hunter, and welcome. I like to spend some time daily talking with you about some aspect of job search because, frankly, I believe it doesn't have to be as hard, difficult, painful, or take as long as it does. It's, frankly, the skills needed to find a job are different than those needed to do a job. And today I've got one of those tough interview questions that tends to hit people between the eye because it's about owning up to a failure. Hope you found this helpful and hope you give it a great review wherever you listen to the show. And happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day. Thank you for all you've done and thank you for all you continue to do, including that worry. And with that, let's get going. Now, I thought today I would do one of those tough interview questions. And I've done variations on this one before. It's the failure question. And it's designed to have you open up about yourself. You see, when firms hire people into leadership roles, they want to hire people not only who can do the job, but who have a degree of emotional intelligence, who can understand the impact of what they do and own up to them. So this behavioral interview question goes, give me an example of a time you took a risk and it failed. And the key word in there is failed because it's a strong word. It's not a mistake. You failed. And they want to know that you can own up to your mistakes. You can own up to your failures and learn from them. It's kind of like the classic story from IBM, the old Thomas Watson story about the person who lost $10 million in some business unit at a time where that was really a lot of money for them. And he said, he was asked why he didn't fire them. And he said, why would I fire them? You know, the next person will get the benefit of the mistake that they made for me. Why can't I? And that's really what this question is designed to do, is to get you to open up to your mistakes. So the format is the SOAR acronym. What's the situation that you were in? What was the objective that you had? What was the action that you took? And what was the result that you had? So I'll give you an example of one. Doesn't mean that this is your story, please, but use this as the type of example. You know, a few years ago, I took a position with an organization, moved across the country, and I was hired to take over this new business area that they had. And I stepped into the role maybe with a bit of arrogance or cockiness about it, thinking that I could really make a huge impact on the organization. And I misfired. You know, the misfire was I realized after I was on board there are things that I didn't know about the organization, about its capabilities, its investment in this business unit. And I was probably in over my head as a result. Now, I'm not blaming them. I just want to be clear about that. You know, I realized that I stepped into a job that, you know, I didn't have all the information for. And the result was we really couldn't deliver it. And the result winds up being that years later, when I step into new situations, I make sure that I'm covering all the bases and really understand what resources are available. So then this way, I'm not flying blind anymore. I really know that, you know, I can affect the change that they're looking for. I always know that there's surprises, but nothing will ever be as big a surprise as that one. So Get the idea here. You're going with the situation, the objective, the action, and result, and owning up to your part in this. You have to do that. Without that piece, your answer has no meaning. It just sounds like you're blaming someone else. And there's always a part that involves you and a mistake that you made, even if it involves them, like it did in the story. Like, I didn't have all the information about what was going to be available to me. And that's your mistake. Follow? I remember one time with a nonprofit I was involved with, I was going for certification to run workshops for them. And the first time I sat before the group that certified people, I was told I wasn't ready for it. I was disappointed, to say the least. And I came back and again attempted to get their okay to do it. And there was a point in the conversation where he talked about what had happened the first time. And they said, are you saying that this wasn't your fault? I said, no, I've got a piece in this too. But, and then I went through what the scenario was one more time and made it clear what my part was. And that's exactly what they're looking for here. They're looking for you to own up to your part in the scenario, even if most of it involves them. So that's today's show. I hope you found it helpful. And if you did, here are a few more ways to get information and advice from me. First of all, there's my website, which is thebiggamehunter.us. I have more than 8,000 blog posts there that you can watch, listen to, or read that will help you find your next job. In addition, if you're interested in my coaching you, at the site there's a button there that says schedule. Schedule time for a free discovery call, schedule yourself in for coaching, interview preparation coaching, salary negotiation advice, coaching related to hiring more effectively, managing and leading, helping you to be a better executive in your organization, and overall being a better employee of your firm. If you have questions for me, you can ask them at Wizio.com/thebiggamehunter. That's WISIO.com/thebiggamehunter. The price at Wizio is less than 1/3 of what I'm charging at my website. And I'm doing this because I want to benefit my subscribers here and on YouTube, and only you're going to know about it. You can also connect with me on LinkedIn at linkedin.com/IN/thebiggamehunter. Mention that you watched or listened to my content. I like knowing I'm helping folks. Once we're connected, it's nice to hear from you. I'd love to hear from you from time to time about how I'm helping. You can also watch me on TV. Did you know that? If you have a Fire TV or a Fire Stick, download the JobSearch TV app for Apple TV, Roku, Sony, Samsung, like 90 different TV platforms. You can watch me on either Zingo TV or BingeNetworks.tv. On YouTube, subscribe at JobSearch.TV.com and have access to thousands of videos I've created. I'll be back tomorrow with more, and in the meantime, I hope you have a great day. Be great!
This episode is sponsored by Schwans.com. What are you having for dinner tonight? Good question. Schwann's Home Delivery has a solution for you. Stock up your freezer with high-quality frozen foods like premium meats and sides, delicious ready-made meals, ice cream, and more. No subscriptions, no memberships, just a friendly yellow truck that's been delivering food for almost 70 years. Listeners of this show get a special deal. Get 20% off your first order with code YUM20. Check out schwans.com/YUM for details.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
This Thanksgiving, think outside the oven and get Thanks Grilling with Ace. Get a new grill and choose from top brands like Traeger, Weber, and Big Green Egg to add even more flavor to your Thanksgiving turkey, side dishes, and desserts. Plus, right now, get free assembly and delivery on all grills and accessories $3.99 and up. For the best help on the best grills, stop by your local Ace and get Thanks Grilling. Ace Rewards members only through December 24th. See participating stores for scheduling or exclusions.